Today we're talking about the Slate Digital Fresh Air plugin. This plugin is absolutely free as of today, and it probably will be free forever. However, definitely go get it just in case. I have a link in the description below. So we'll get to my review and tutorial right after this introduction. Welcome everybody, I'm Dan Spencer and I am the Audio Sorcerer. So this is the channel where I teach you how to perfect your audio recording, mixing, and mastering skills. So before we get to the video, make sure you guys smash that like button, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So today we are talking about the new Slate Digital Fresh Air plugin here. And this plugin is basically something you're going to use when you want to polish your upper mids or your highs. And this plugin does a very fantastic job of doing that, and it does it in a very non-harsh and non-destructive way. And as you can see looking at the plugin here, it has very few knobs, and it's pretty hard to mess up. You pretty much just mess with the mid-air knob, which is right here, and then the high-air knob here, and then you just dial in the sound that you're looking for. When you first look at this plugin, you may say, hey, this is just another EQ, but that's not the case at all. This is some sort of combination of harmonic saturation with EQ in very specific frequency bands that we don't really know because it's all happening under the hood, but we do know it's in the upper mids and then also the highs. So that's the thing about it, since it's not just an EQ, when you're raising up these levels here, you're going to see that the sound doesn't get all that harsh. Yeah, if you crank it all the way up, yeah, it might get a little harsh, but you're going to be surprised that it's still somewhat musical when it gets up there. So that's why this plugin is really cool. And I'm going to tell you this at the very beginning of this tutorial / review that I have yet to find a plugin that can really create the sound that this one does. This is really going to be the plugin that is going to get you that extra air in your sound and doing it in a non-harsh and tasteful way. So what I want to do in this tutorial is I'll go over this plugin very quickly, all the buttons and parameters on it, and then we're going to listen to it on a whole mix. We're going to listen it onto a snare drum. We're going to listen to it on guitars. And we're going to listen to it lastly on vocals. So with that being said, why don't we take a look at all of the buttons and parameters within the Slate Digital Fresh Air. So starting in the bottom half here, you have your mid-air here, and as you hover over it, you'll see that it says Add High Mid Presence, so that's what this knob does. And then for the high air, this will add high sparkle. And you can link these two knobs together by pressing this button here. As you can see, they move together when it's linked. And then over here, you have your power button. This will bypass the processing if you turn it off. This is your trim knob here. So this is the output level of the plugin. And up here is your metering section. And you can see as I hover over it, it tells you that it tracks RMS and peak levels, which is great. Above that, we have our preset section here. And it actually does come with a couple presets in here. And as in any plugin, you can make your own preset and save it. And then for all of Slate's plugins, they always have an A/B section, so you have that option right here. And that is pretty much everything within this plugin. I guess if you hit the little S thing here, you'll see that you have access to online support and the user guide. I actually don't believe there's a user guide for this because I clicked on it and nothing popped up. And I also couldn't find anything online, so maybe there's not one out yet. Okay, so that is everything within the plugin here. So what I want to do first is we're going to listen to this on a full mix, and it's going to be in a chorus of a song called Shadows by a band called In Your Memory. And I'm just going to kind of turn up each of these knobs all the way and back down so you can kind of hear what they do. And then I already have one set up for it to sound the way I want it to sound, and I'm going to let you hear it that way. So let's begin. Your imagination makes me look like the fool. Your imagination makes people think they know me too, but I never thought they'll take your word. You should have thought before you spoke. You're just a shadow to the Alright, cool. So I just wanted to play that for you while adjusting each knob so you can kind of hear what each of them do. So as you can see that the mid-air focused pretty much on the, I would say the lower end of the ride cymbal and the vocals, as whereas the high that was really getting the shimmer out of those ride cymbals. And that's why I think this song is a good example for you to hear what this plugin can do. So now I'm going to let you hear my settings that I set up for this for the whole mix and let you hear this chorus in full of how I think it should be used. So let's give it a listen. All right, so that's definitely night and day difference. So as you guys can hear, as I went between, bypass and then active, it made a huge difference. And this plugin just adds that really nice upper end air, especially to those ride cymbals. I'm just absolutely loving it, especially for this song. So that is it as a whole mix. So let's actually move on to the snare drum and hear what it can do for that. All right, cool. So I felt that the snare drum just didn't have enough of that high-end snap to it, and I just needed just a little bit of something extra. So as you can see, I barely moved the knobs on this, and it made all the difference. So hopefully you guys heard it in there. If you didn't, go back and listen to it again. So let's move on to the guitars now. All right, so I let you guys hear that guitar part in solo because it would have been kind of hard to hear within the mix. But as you guys can hear, that's a pretty good sounding guitar as is, but this brought something a little bit extra out of it that was really nice. And it's some of those frequencies that I try to bring out when I'm using my SSL EQ. Usually if I have the high shelf basically and I'm just boosting there with it. But this also, I think, does a really good job of trying to do the same thing. So this is a way you can use it on your overdriven guitars, just like I did there. So let's move on for guitars and go to our last instrument, which is the vocals. All right, again, we just made super minor adjustments down here and it made quite a bit of difference on the vocals. I think the vocals already sounded great without this, but I think that this really did bring them out just a little bit more in the mix, just gave them a little extra flavor. So I really like it. So that is what I wanted to show you guys in this tutorial slash review. This plugin, to my knowledge, will be free likely forever. It's probably going to be like the Revival plugin from Slate. So if you guys don't have the Revival, definitely go get your hands on that. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys think. I think this is a great plugin. I see a lot of use for it. Everything I did in this tutorial, I could see myself doing in an actual, mixing process. So I think it's a great tool. I think it has a great sound. I think it is non-destructive. It's musical. It is not ear-piercing or harsh. It's everything that I could want this type of plugin to be. So, if you guys like this plugin and you like this tutorial, give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So with that being said, until the next video, I will see you guys later and peace out.